Hey, what's up, guys? I know this is a little bit late, but I thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and we can have some fun talking about episode 62 of My Hero Academia, season 3, the last episode. So this takes off in a really interesting episode here. It almost to me felt like an introductory episode for like season 4, for example. As there's a lot of like introduction kind of setting up for like the mystery of who like this guy is, and then who this guy is, and then it introduces the top 3, and then we're kind of left with this cliffhanger. But it's definitely a different kind of episode, a really different kind of vibe, as opposed to like the other episodes in the season. So we start off with this clone dude. I'm gonna call him Multiplicity, starring Michael Keaton, and he is talking about kind of the state of heroes, or the episode's kind of going into the state of the hero culture and the gap that All Might left. And he's talking about Endeavor and like how Endeavor can't really fill that role. He's like not the type of hero that can really fill All Might's like void. So I thought that was really interesting and really true and obvious that Endeavor's just kind of a hothead, get it? But anyway, I really enjoyed this kind of different vibe that at least this part of the episode was going through, and it was like a really kind of film noir-ish vibe. And like the whole time you're like, who is this guy? Unless you read the manga, of course, you probably know who this guy is. And he goes over his quirk, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's Multiplicity. But he is going, it's almost like a, what's that movie? Secret Window or something? I forgot what it's called, but he's looking out the window, looking at people, and it's very film noir. Anyway, let's move on. We go on to some other like crime. Like crime is rising a little bit. Like the villains are becoming more brave, it seems like. And then we introduce, after the clone guy puts his mask on, because it puts him together, he obviously has some sort of mental issues or some sort of lapse in control of his quirk, or maybe like a multiple personality kind of thing going on. And so we are introduced to this other villain who is, I think, if I've heard correctly, the main villain of the next season, with this weird beak mechanism on his face. And I have no idea what this guy's all about, but I am intrigued nonetheless. He obviously has an interesting design, as most of these characters do. You could say that this show is quite quirky. But so after all this, you know, you could say that it was a little bit slow and draggy. I actually zoned out at one point in this, but for the most part, it was very interesting, because I really enjoy film noirish kind of stuff, especially when it's kind of a switch up of tone, of not having, you know, the same thing during the whole season, you know, because then that could be kind of start to get, you know, a little bit repetitive or stale. Or, you know, it's nice to switch things up a little bit, as long as you don't make it too boring or too fluffy, if you know what I mean. Too much drag or filler, so to speak. So finally we get to the students at UA, and Midoriya's like working out his arms, and he's like, my arm strength isn't high enough, I still need to concentrate on my shoot style. So I like this little bit of an update on his physical condition. And I like that the show is kind of showing progression for these guys, and especially with the Midoriya versus Bakugo stuff, there's some really good character stuff in there. But like I said, with the feeling like an intro, it's like a new semester, so they're showing the students at UA in their little shenanigans, and they're at this assembly, and then, oh my god, Hound Dog, the the hero Hound Dog, and he can't even say a straight sentence without growling, and he's like mad about something, or oh yeah, he's mad about the fight from Bakugo and Midoriya. And he's just like a rabid freaking dog. And his hero name is Hound Dog. Oh my god, I love it. It's so quirky. But so yeah, they show Midoriya and Bakugo doing their chores, which is a nice update. It's kind of like an update episode where, okay, these guys are we're kind of catching up with the students and introducing new things while starting a new semester. And that's why I say I thought it was interesting that it was the last episode of a season instead of the first one, because now you're introducing all these things at the end and you're just leaving your audience like on the edge of their seats with all these mysteries. Like, what are these top 3 students and what is this Hound Dog guy especially? I want to know. I want a whole series about Hound Dog, and I want it all to be, all the dialogue just to be barking and growling the whole time. Oh man. But anyway, they start class and they bring up work studies, which is another kind of intriguing thing that I'm looking forward to. I really hope they take advantage of this and take this into a whole like uncharted territory for this show for these students, and it's really leaving this open for even more cool stuff in the future, you know, where they're actually going out and actually doing hero stuff with the licenses that they just earned. So that's awesome. So we're going on to freaking Adventures of Tintin, Nightmare Fuel, Shadow Cat dude. And Midoriya is just kind of walking, and this freaky nightmare face appears out of nowhere. And he just starts talking to Midoriya, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's freaking creepy, man. But like I said, this show, I mean, I think quirk is the right word for their powers, because quirk is like the perfect word to describe the show's humor. And I mean, overall, I enjoyed this episode. I liked the intrigue that it built up. There's a couple little parts that were draggy, but yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of sums up the gist of my thoughts on the episode. It was a nice, fresh take, or nice fresh episode, a little bit different from the other stuff. I like the film noir stuff. It was a little bit draggy, but I mean, I think it was effective in what it was trying to do, and in building up mystery and hype all at the same time for next season. I think it was more effective to put this at the last episode of the season than the first episode of the next season, if you know what I mean. But if you guys have any extra thoughts, just let me know in the comments. That's pretty much sums up what I thought. As I said, thank you very much. I know it's a little bit late. Sorry about that. But I will have the review of the new Akihiro Damia movie. Maybe we should just call it that from now. Akihiro Damia. My Hero Academia movie soon, because I'm seeing it tomorrow, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.